Hi, I'm Rick Kahler. Thanks for joining me today. Well, investing and financial planning, like almost every other field, have their own buzzwords and terms. Some of those terms might be unfamiliar or confusing to someone outside of the field. Some of them might mean something different to professionals than they do the general public. Unfortunately, financial professionals don't always remember to explain the words they use. It's really easy to forget that clients aren't necessarily familiar with terms such as asset protection, standard deviation, diversification, and asset allocation that are everyday language to an advisor. Just as unfortunately, clients too often hesitate to ask professionals to explain unfamiliar words. My years of experience as a financial planner have taught me that almost all new clients come in with some embarrassment or shame about their finances. One source of that feeling is a belief that they ought to know more about investing than they do. If you think everyone else knows the meaning of asset allocation or the difference between bonds and stocks, then you probably will be hesitant to ask your advisor to explain those terms to you. You will probably be even more hesitant to ask questions if the advisor does explain, but you still don't understand the explanation. Remember that helping you become more comfortable with the language of the financial profession should be a part of an advisor's job. Asking for, even insisting upon clear definitions is part of your job as a client. After all, it's your money that's under discussion. If you interpret a particular term one way and your advisor means something quite different by it, the consequences of that misunderstanding could be cold, hard financial ones. One useful strategy to help ensure that you and a financial advisor understand various terms in the same way is to reflect back what you think you've heard the advisor say or what you think a statement means. Suppose, for example, a financial planner has suggested you need to consider some asset protection strategies. The words assets to you mean primarily the money in your investment portfolio. And of course, you know generally what the word protection means. So to you then, asset protection might mean making sure my investments are safe. You could respond to the advisor with a statement such as what I hear you saying is that I should change some of my investments to funds that have less risk. Is that right? This would give the advisor a chance to explain, no, that isn't what he meant at all. Then he could clarify that asset protection to him meant making sure you wouldn't lose everything you owned in case someone sued you after slipping and falling on the steps of a rental house you owned. He might be suggesting you form a corporation or a limited liability company that would then own the real estate or the rental property. It may seem simpler just to ask the advisor directly, what do you mean by asset protection? The disadvantage of this approach is that his answer might use additional terms that you don't understand, so it is still relatively confusing to you. After 2 or 3 such questions, you might be too embarrassed to even ask further. Reflecting back what you think you've heard, however, helps the other person know more precisely what you do understand or you don't understand. It can be an efficient method of clarifying a potentially confusing topic. It's an effective way to make sure that both you and your advisor are talking about the same thing or trying to solve the same problem. And that would be a good thing.